can't stop the signal now.
This is the commander of Rebel Squadron, calling on the negotiator. Do you read us? General Skywalker, we are being overwhelmed on Kamino by General Grievous and his droid army. We need reinforcements. Send everything you've got. Your only chance of repelling the invaders, General Skywalker. You are our only hope.
Status of Commander, unknown. Will attempt to re-establish contact.
And welcome back to Rebel Squadron. If you're a new recruit fresh out of the academy and you'd like to join the squadron, all you have to do to enlist is hit that subscribe button. And alright, so today we're going to take a trip back to Clash on Kamino. As you might know, they finally released it for the Journey Guide, and since it was last available, Rebel Squadron has spent a good amount of resources preparing his squad for this event. So hopefully we've got our troops geared up enough where they're going to be able to clear out these events. Let's see here if we can unlock that General Anakin Skywalker. Yeah, I'm pretty excited today, folks. It's been a long time coming. So. Alright, let's get to this and let's have some fun. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at that event, General Conflict. As you can see, we've already completed the battle up there. If you're curious about that battle, go ahead and check out the previous Path of Legends for General Kenobi with the battle up there. You'll be able to see for yourself what I'm talking about. Let's go ahead and get into General Conflict. And, oh, yeah, so we'll be able to pick up 50 General Anakin shards if we manage to clear this event. And that'll bring us up to 110 total shards. Ooh, won't be too far away from unlocking them there. So I'm excited, folks. Oh, yeah. Been waiting for this for such a long time. Let's get to it. Okay, so the mission units are as... Oh, you know what? Let's go and put Ahsoka in there. She does have the ability to clear out buffs and whatnot. So when Padme brings in the dog pile, Ahsoka will clear everything out, and then the rest of the characters will be able to apply their debuffs appropriately. Now we're sitting at 111,461 squad power. Ooh, doggy. Yeah, let's do this, folks. Let's get to the battle. Boom shakalaka. And here we go. We've got General Grievous and his squad of clankers. This has been ordered too easy. Define easy, General. Uh-oh. This is not sounding good here, folks. Okay, so it's been a while, but I have seen some videos on how to fight this, and it seems to follow the pretty logical target priority when you're going up against a General Grievous squad. So it doesn't seem too crazy. I was really hoping the Relic 3 Kenobi would be enough to help keep him alive. But as you saw, dear Jimmy Cricket, yeah, he went down pretty fast and hard there. Wow. Yeah, that was our first run through on this event battle. Goodness. This thing's not kidding around, folks. I know people have been able to get through it with this without like max relic characters and whatnot, but that's definitely going to make a difference. Okay, so let's give this another try here. Lots of buff immunity, so I'm not 100% sure how this is gonna... Yep, no such luck. Alright, Padme's, or Ahsoka Tano's gonna come in. Jimmy Great. Yeah, those droid Dekas are just wreaking all sorts of havoc on our squad here. With those shields up, we're not going to be able to do anything about them. Ooh. Yeah, let's go ahead. We're going to go ahead and retreat here. Wowzers. Yeah, so this is definitely quite the fight here, folks. Oh my goodness, this is wow. Man, watching those videos did not prepare me. Watching it and playing it are two different things.
Many hours later.
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at this battle here, and I'll give you a step-by-step run through. Hopefully this will make it very clean and clear for you to get through your own general conflict on your path to your very own General Anakin Skywalker. Hoo-doggy. I'm excited. I'm one step closer. Been working on this for a long time to the exclusion of just about everything else. So yeah, I'm pretty excited here, folks. Okay, so we have our lineup here. You get the B2, you got the 2 man guards, you got the 2 droidekas, the B1, and the metal monstrosity himself, General Grievous. So really briefly, your target priority is going to be number 1, the B2. As far as the B1 goes, I really didn't worry about him at all. You will get some counterattacks in, so that's just, you know, bonus damage on him without having to focus on him. And in my opinion, you're going to want to keep the B1 alive to the very end, and I'll explain why here shortly. And I'll get to the rest of the target priority here as we go. Alright, so Padme is going to do her cunning plan, which is going to give bonus protection to the entire squad there. That is vital to the stacks of courage being able to get that damage output. Now, this is where that speed comes in. It's very important that these characters go before the Madden Guard. You do kind of want Padme to go first so she can get that bonus protection going first. I like to target the B2. Padme comes in for the little tap of a wacky stick. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but you know, it gets the ball rolling. Now, as you can see, we've already got 10 stacks of courage on Shock T, and that is going to be vital here to taking down B2 fast and hard. Now, I pass our healing ability over to General Kenobi because that will boost his tenacity. So you want to get him as, you know, resilient as possible to those debuffs and those stuns so that he can keep that taunt going throughout the battle. Now, what this will do is, boom, this will call in both General Kenobi and Ahsoka Tano to lay down a couple of smacks on the B2. As you can see, we've done a decent amount of damage on his protection so far, and we have yet to get to the big whammy. Now with C-3PO, you're going to want to use his special ability on Shock T at this point, and as you can see, it calls in Ahsoka Tano to assist. Shock T is going to use her 10 stacks of courage to bring a big ol' smack down on that B2. And as you can see, boom, it brings him down into the yellow range. So you're doing some serious damage at this point. Now this is where that speed is coming in vital. You do want Shock T to get her turn first because she'll be able to utilize that 10 stacks of courage and bring Ahsoka in. And then at that point, Ahsoka will get her stacks of courage, which as you can see is sitting at 15. I've tried playing around different ways with it, trying to use certain abilities on, say, Ahsoka instead of Shock T and whatnot. This does seem to be the most effective order. So then we're going to bring Ahsoka Tano here for the big old whammy. And use their special ability because it does increase the protection up on the rest of the squad. And it just helps to bolster their survivability and give them greater stacks of courage, you know, in the rest of the battle. Magna Guard comes in, does this thing. We get 2 taunts up. So B2 is out of the way at this point, which is absolutely vital to success for this battle. If you have not taken B2 down at this point, you might as well start over because it's going to be next to impossible unless you have a highly relict squad across the board. If you're looking to do this at the minimum gear levels, you're simply not going to make it. I've spent countless hours trying to to bowl my way through it, and it was nothing short of impossible until I got the speed levels up on these characters. So then General Kenobi is going to call in Ahsoka for the assist. She's going to clear out the taunt here. Lots of counter attacks. Now, as you saw, we had both sets of destructive armament, and he was able to survive because he had enough extra protection up to keep them from digging too deep into his health pool. All right, so Padme comes in. We get the stun on the Magna Guard along with clearing out that taunt, along with the confusion. Now, C-3PO is vital here with his confusion. You want to try to keep that confusion up on both Magna Guards as much as possible. This will prevent them from gaining their taunt up, which will make life a whole lot easier when you're able to go after those droidekas. Alright, so we're going to use Shakti's middle ability here. Now, I like to use it on Ahsoka because it does put her under stealth, which does increase her survivability. She is fairly important to dealing out that damage. Now, with the stacks of courage, any one of these characters can become a nuclear option. Ahsoka does have healing abilities and whatnot, and she could clear out those taunts. Now, Shakti can also clear out the taunts with her basic, but she also has those additional abilities that are beneficial to the entire squad. So your goal is you want to keep your entire squad alive for as long as possible. And if you practice around with it, you may find that if Ahsoka goes down at a certain point, you're probably not going to beat it out. So once you get the hang of that, you'll have a pretty good idea of when to go ahead and just forfeit and start over. Yeah, just a little tip here from Rebel Squadron. So there we go. Boom. C-3PO gets his confusion up on the second Magna Guard. Now, the one is stunned, but both of them have confusion. Neither one of them is going to be able to taunt. So at this point, what you want to do is focus on one of the Magna Guards. You do not have to get both Magna Guards down in order to clear that shield from the droidekas. If you get one Magna Guard down, the shields go bye-bye. They seem to work in tandem there. And once you drop those shields, that confusion is going to prevent the taunts from coming up, which is going to make it possible for you to focus all of your firepower on one of those droidekas. Boom. So as you saw there, the Magna Guard came in, no taunt came up, and his health was low enough where he went down for the count. So now we've got no shielding on the droidekas. This is our opportunity to start dealing some heavy damage here. So General Kenobi calls in the dog pile. It clears out all of his protection and most of his health here. In comes General Grievous for the big old whammy. And as you saw there, even without stacks of courage, Padme was able to finish off the droideka. And we are sitting pretty here, folks. So it took many, many hours of practice in refining the techniques here to be able to get to this point. You have no idea how much I wanted to just take my phone and just skip it across a lake. You have no idea. Okay, so this is key here as well. Do your best to not take down multiple clankers. We took out the Magna Guard by himself. You don't want to take out both Magna Guards at the same time. We took down the one droideka. General Grievous is coming in for his metalloid monstrosity type attack, in which case he has the ability to do extensive amounts of damage. And I've found that if I take down more than one clanker at a time, he pretty much annihilates my squad at this point. So try to do your best to just take down one clanker at a time. And I've had it where I took down at least two of them completely by accident. There is a bit of RNG here, even with a properly geared and modded squad. So you have to have some patience, and it might take you a few tries. Ahsoka came in. Yeah, I brought Ahsoka in to deal some damage on the Magna Guard, and he's getting pretty low there. So we're going to make him the target for the time being. Okay. Now, I went ahead and brought in the dog pile on the second Magna Guard to get those stacks of confusion up, because if he gets the taunt up, we're not going to be able to focus on the weaker Magna Guard at this point. And we want to make sure we prevent that taunt so we can keep this fight going, because as the fight progresses, General Grievous is building up his max health, and you want to take these droidekas down as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So now we have the opportunity to focus on that weaker Magna Droid. Ooh, she had 6 stacks of courage, but she missed. That is unfortunate. But in comes General Kenobi, gets a good hit on him. And we get the... Ooh, see, this is where it starts to get tricky. As you see, we got taunts coming back up. The second Magna Guard is pretty weak at this point. With all of that retribution, though, That is saving the day on this fight because it allows our entire squad to come in and do some damage and clear out the taunt on that first Magna Guard. Okay, so as you can see, we have the confusion up on the first one. The second one is clear, but he's our primary target at this point anyways. General Grievous comes in for a tickle. Boom, down goes that Magna Guard. And that second Droideka is now clear of his shielding. With the confusion on that first Magna Guard, we are clear to rain damage down upon this clanker. The Magna Guard takes himself out anyways. Now down goes Shakti. However, we have a really good opportunity here to take down the second clanker. And naturally, we're going to keep this fight going. It's not over yet, folks. All right, so we're going to bring in that backup plan. Ahsoka comes in, does some damage. It is C-3PO's turn, and, you know, we're going to bring in a dog pile here. Well, not as much as I was hoping for there, but boom. Ahsoka Tano has the stacks of courage. She's able to bring in the final hit on that second Droideka. As you can see, we have 30 stacks on the B1 yet, but he's not going to be our primary target. In comes Grievous. Boom, does some damage. So at this point, we're going to focus 100% on General Grievous. And here's why. He's got a lot of protection, and especially having lost Shakti, we've lost some of our nuke capability there. It's going to make it a bit more difficult to get him down there in time. Now what happens is once you get rid of that protection and start biting into his health pool, he's going to throw up a mark on the B1. And once that B1 goes down, he's going to get an enraged marker. So you want him to be as weak as possible before he becomes enraged. If he has protection on him when he becomes enraged, unless you have a fully relic squad, it's going to be near impossible to take him down before he finishes off your squad. So to recap, you want to take his protection down to nothing, get that mark over on B1, finish off B1, and then dogpile the rest of Grievous's health until you can finish the fight. And just keep cycling through your abilities like you normally would. Use everything in your toolbox and let your squad do their job. Now, we get that health immunity up there, which does not prevent the protection up. Down goes Ahsoka, but he's in the red. We still have a shot here, folks. In comes GK for the dog pile. We get that protection up. It provides the stacks of courage for those nuclear options. Boom. And there we go, folks. Down goes General Kenobi. It's like, oh, I already played this battle, so I know I won. But it's still exciting, folks, because, oh, Jiminy Cricket. I've been working towards this for a long time. It is so exciting to finally reach at this point. As you can see, I've got 110 on 145 shards. And I did make it through the third event, which is ridiculously easy. I'll either include it at the end of this one or at the start of the next one, just so you can see for yourself. You don't even have to worry about it. But this was quite the battle here, folks. It took many, many, many hours. Even with advice from various channels, various videos, everybody had something different to say, and it still took a great deal of work to figure out what exactly worked for me with my squads, what the level they were at. If you're shooting for the bare minimum, this should work for you. To recap, you got your 270 minimum speed on your characters. With the General Kenobi, it's less vital because he's more there to take the hits than anything else. Shakti and Ahsoka Tano are going to be your key players, taking out B2 before Magna Guard can get their taunt up. And then from there, it's just a game of musical chairs dancing between the Magna Guards until you can get one of them down and focus on one of those Droidekas. You don't want to take down more than one clinker at a time, otherwise General Grievous is going to come in and just annihilate your squad. So, happened many times. You do want to try and have Shakti come in before C-3PO and Ahsoka. You want Ahsoka coming in third, most likely on her turn, to be able to bring in the final hit on the B2. And then from there, you should be good. If you can get through that B2, you have a very good chance of finishing this event. And the gear levels for your characters are going to depend very much on their speed. As long as you can get that speed up there to that minimum, even their mods, you can Frankenstein their mods if you have to. It should be enough with those courage nukes to be able to handle the business there. There will be some RNG luck involved, especially if you're not relicked up. The lower gear your characters are, the more dependent you're going to be on RNG. But it is very much possible. Once I figured this stuff out and got my mod and speed levels up to their minimum, as you saw with this squad, It took a few tries, but yeah, it got the job done without having to do a ridiculous amount of resources in terms of building up my squad. As far as the Magna Guards go, you only need to take one Magna Guard down in order to clear that shield from the droid Deca, so don't worry about taking them both down at the same time. So let's go ahead and take a look at what my squad is geared at and everything, so you can see for yourself what the bare minimum is going to be here. Now, I've watched several videos, and it took many hours of playing my own General Conflig to be able to figure out exactly how to go about it. Watching these videos, it gives you a good idea, but it's still going to be a bit of trial and error there regarding your specific squad and roster. So I'm going to give it to you, as simply as possible. And hopefully it helps you figure out your own squad requirements. So the first thing I want to tell you is that you need a bare minimum speed of 270 for each of your characters in the squad. The reason being, you want to take down B2 as quickly as possible before the Magna Guards can get their taunts up, because once they get their taunts up, it's going to be very difficult to take down that B2. So if we take a look at Ahsoka Tano, as you can see, I have kind of a mishmash of different mods there, and the reason being is that I had trouble getting her up to that minimum. So as you can see, she has a speed of 246. However, with her Daring Padawan ability, it gives her a plus 25 speed advantage. So the 246 plus the 25 actually brings her up to 271. And that does meet that bare minimum there. So in spite of the fact that these are a bunch of different types of mods, honestly, the biggest factor in this battle is actually going to be the speed of your characters. I mean, obviously you want to try and have the best possible mods for your character, to help boost their abilities and everything. But here's the key for this fight. They don't necessarily have to be exactly the same. As you'll see with my other characters, I was able to get them up to that 270 without having to Frankenstein their mods. With Ahsoka, I had to use up all of my best mods at that point, and I literally had to pull mods from different characters with different attributes. I got 21 speed on the health mod, I've got 17 speed on the offense, 14 on the potency, 16 on the other health, 21 on the critical damage, and then the 32 on the arrow mod. So in spite of the fact that it's just a mishmash, here's the thing. Padme's ability, it creates those stacks of courage, and those stacks of courage are more important than pretty much anything else with this squad. So as long as they have the speed, they should be able to get that damage output to be able to handle their business. So that's why I was able to complete General Conflig with this mishmash of mods on Ahsoka Tano. That's just something to keep in mind there. And here's another tip. So I have all of her abilities maxed out except for her leader. That is not going to come in useful at all, so I wouldn't even worry about that. Now, I only got her up to gear 12. However, I did go ahead and complete those gear pieces that do provide that speed boost, because without these gear pieces, I would not have been able to meet that minimum 270. So this one, as you can see, gives you plus 8 speed. This one gives you plus 6, plus some other stuff, and then plus 6. So if you're having trouble getting up to that minimum 270, you're probably going to want to complete those gear pieces right there. That will definitely give you a good boost to reach that minimum, not just for Ahsoka, but for any of your characters. So if you take a look here, General Kenobi is the only character that I have at Relic 7, and I'm going to be honest, I don't think it made much of a difference. He was just as likely to go down from the destructive armament barrage from the 2 droidekas at gear 13 as he was at Relic 7. So you could probably get away with not having him relics in order to get through this event. However, having a Relic 7 General Kenobi will actually help me in other events such as Grand Arena. So it's actually not a bad investment to make. We'll come back to that here. Let's go ahead and take a look at Shakti. So as you can see, she's got 274 speed from her mods. She's sitting at gear 12 and none of the extra gear pieces. Most of her abilities are maxed out because she is my lead for my 501st at this time. And as you can see, she does in fact have 4 speed and 2 health mods, which is what she normally has on her. I was just fortunate enough to be able to get the speed requirement up there without having to Frankenstein her mods. Even if I had, I don't think it would have made too much of a difference. Her health is at 27,000, just shy of. Protection is at over 53,000. But as stated, the big thing is going to be those stacks of courage. and having the speed on your characters to be able to use those stacks of courage against the target. That's really where the vast majority of your damage output is going to come from. And then we'll take a Padme here. So she does have 2 of those extra gear pieces for the speed, sitting at gear 12. She has 40,000 health, 49,000 protection, 283 speed. So yeah, I was fortunate with her being able to get enough speed off of her. As you can see, she has 4 speed mods, 2 health mods. 2 of the health mods are purple, and it was enough speed and we had enough damage output to be able to finish the job here. All of her abilities are maxed out. She's a very solid leader, so I felt that it was worth maxing her out before this event ever came around. So not necessarily a bad idea, especially if she's going to be a key part of your Grand Arena roster. And then we'll go ahead and take a look at Goldenrod. So as you can see, C-3PO has 4 speed mods, 2 potency mods, and I was fortunate enough to get him up to 253 with these mods. And if you take a look at his protocol droid unique, it does in fact give him plus 20 speed, so that pushes him over that 270 minimum. So as you can see, it is possible to hit that 270 minimum without having just, you know, absolute amazing mods on every single character. There, you do have options here. It gives you some flexibility when preparing your squad for this event. He's at gear 12. I did not need to get any of those extra gear pieces, which did save on resources. And if we take a look at General Kenobi here, as we talked about before, he is Relic 7, and he is sitting at 76k health, almost 65k protection, and 262 speed. Now his speed was not at that 270 minimum, and the reason being is that the Magna Guards seem to be at a 269 speed. So if you can get that 270, you're a step ahead of those Magna Guards, which makes it possible for you to focus on the B2 and take him down before they get their taunts up and just throw a big old monkey wrench in your day. Yeah, so as you can see, you do have a bit of flexibility here. Now, like stated, it doesn't hurt to have him relicked up. He's a good, solid character, a great tank, especially if you plug him in with like Jedi or Padme. So it's definitely worth the investment, in my opinion. You don't necessarily need to, because even at Relic 7, he's still going to go down more often than not if they end up getting that double destructive armament on him. But it does increase his chances of survivability, which is absolutely going to help in the long run. So it's entirely up to you, the resource investment that you want to put into him. I will say, if you do relic him up, he is worth the investment beyond this event. So to recap, in general, you want 270 speed minimum on your squad. With General Kenobi, you can get away with having a little bit less, because the big damage output is coming from Padme's stacks of courage. And Kenobi, by and large, he's there to take the hits and draw those hits away from the rest of the squad. So it's less vital that he be able to get those hits in before the Magna Guard gets their taunt up. So as you can see, I was able to get all my characters up to 270 with the exception of General Kenobi. Most of them had compatible mods that worked together. Ahsoka Tano had the Mishmash Frankenstein monster mods, but it did push her speed up over 270. That is all that it takes to finish this General Conflict. So with that said, folks, this wraps up the tutorial for the General Conflict event. I really hope that this helps you out and on your path of legends as you seek to unlock your own General Anakin Skywalker. Now, at this point, I'm still working on my final squad with the Separatists against General Anakin Skywalker and the 501st. And as soon as I get that done, I will get that video up and running. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you'd like to join the squadron, it's really easy to enlist. All you have to do is hit that subscribe button. And if you take a moment, hit that like, really appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. So with that said, I will see you in the Cantina, recruit. This is Rebel Squadron out.
Transmission signal lost.